Welcome back to the Florida Retirement Podcast. I am Kacey, and I am here with financial advisor Murrell Winter, founder of SWAN Retirement Strategies in Sarasota, Florida. Murrell, great to see you as always.
Yes, great to be here.
Well, I'm hearing some good news. I'm hearing that we've got a new bundle of joy in Sarasota, Florida.
We sure do. So little baby Halen was born January 30th, and she is adorable. She's doing great.
All right. So mama, baby, big brother, papa, everybody doing well?
Yes. So happy and healthy.
That is wonderful. I'm so glad to hear it. Murrell, I'm always excited to chat with you. Always excited to help more people plan for successful financial futures. Remember, you can connect with us anytime. SwanStrategies.com is where to find us, or all the info you need. It is always posted in our show notes for you. So Murrell, now that we've got the first month of 2025 behind us, we've also got a new president in office. And I don't want to get political today, but I do want to talk facts and what this means tax-wise for the American people. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. All right. Well, first, let me ask you, what were some of the key tax changes that happened during Trump's first presidency?
Yeah. And so with SWAN and also this podcast, we don't get political. You know, we focus on people's money, making sure that it's working for them. So first and foremost, when it comes to the United States, I just want to say the United States is not a good steward of the finances that we provide, you know, the taxes that we pay them. So them not being the best steward of those finances, my goal is for my clients to keep more money in their pocket instead of money going to the IRS. The number two thing is understanding that you want to keep politics out of your financial plan, right? And your financial strategy. What that means is all the way back since 1928, under a Democratic president, the S&P 500 has averaged 12.9% per year. Under, like I said, under a Democratic president. Under a Republican president, the average has been 9.9% per year. That being said, you don't want to miss out on good times just because of your political views. You want to make sure that your money is working for you at all times. So that's something that we're passionate as well. Now, back to your question about the tax changes for Trump and his first presidency, I want to note that the biggest change was absolutely the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. Mm-hmm. What that means is that all the way since 2017 to the end of 2025, Americans have received tax reduction because of this bill, right? Because of this act, people have paid less taxes per year since 2017 all the way to the end of 2025. But guess what's supposed to happen in 2026? Tax rates are supposed to go up. So we have to keep that in mind and inform our clients.
For sure. All right. Well, so a huge component of both campaigns of Trump's thus far has been taxes. So now that he's back in office, what might his new tax proposals look like?
Yeah, so we have to keep in mind, this is absolutely important, that the United States is $37 trillion in debt. And what that means is that we are so far in debt as a nation that there's going to have to be big changes that happen in the future. But here with this presidency, what a big topic has been is these three. So individual income tax rates has been number one, income exemptions is number two, and number three is tariffs. So those three key aspects are what Trump has been talking about. And the first two are great for the American people. The third one is going to be very tough in the short term. So we will see what happens.
Okay, so now these new proposed policies that you just told me about, what might these mean for the middle class and their families?
Yeah, so the middle class, you know, it's very important here in the United States that the middle class is treated right because many times the middle class and the lower class, they might have, you know, the short end of the stick. So when it comes to the middle class, the first item that Trump has talked about is the individual tax rates, right? So individual income tax rates, just like in 2017 when he reduced those all the way until the end of 2025, that same proposal, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, Trump has talked about that continuing for forever. You know, his goal is that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act becomes the new standard for the IRS for eternity, right? So that would be a huge benefit for the American people that those tax savings do not go away. So number two, income exemptions. What that means and what Trump has talked about is that tips, overtime, and Social Security benefits would be tax-free. So those would be exempt from taxes, and that would be a huge thing for the middle class. So because the middle class, you can think about this, you know, who are the people that are working 9 to 5 or, you know, they're trying to make ends meet. They're working 50-hour weeks, 60-hour weeks. And so tips and overtime are going to be two big things for the middle class. If those taxes can be removed from tips and overtime, that's going to be a huge benefit for the American people so they can keep more money in their pocket instead of going to the IRS. Then the second thing being Social Security. Social Security is a huge benefit for most retirees. So when retirees are having their fixed income for the rest of their life and they see that prices have continued to go up here in the United States, if we can remove the taxes from Social Security, that's going to be a huge benefit. So we went over individual income tax rates and income exemptions for the middle class, how that would be a great benefit. The third thing, which is going to be tariffs. So tariffs are actually going to be very difficult for the middle class and for all Americans, just because if we implement a 10 to 25% tariff on all imports from other countries, guess what also is going to go up? The prices of those imports. So that could be, a huge inflation over the next 5 years. That's even going to be greater than the past 5 years. So that's something that we have to keep in mind, that the first two could be great beneficiaries for the middle class, but the third one, tariffs, could be a big thing for people to overcome.
Gotcha. Now, Murrell, we know Trump can't totally act alone on these new proposed policies. So can you tell me how Congress comes into play?
Right. So, anytime politicians try to get things done, they also have to go through Congress, right? They have to have the vote to create it into law. So right now with Congress, Republicans are the majority. So with Trump trying to get things done, it is more favorable that Congress is going to go ahead and pass those plans. But what you also have to keep in mind, and what you've probably heard in the news, is that it's not only Congress that's being this headwind, but also the judicial system. So all these judges are coming out saying that, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. Even if, with the Department of Government Efficiency, all these things that Trump is trying to create, we're not only having to deal with Congress, but Trump and his administration is also having to deal with the judicial system. So that's something that we have to keep in mind, that Trump doesn't have this free card to just go ahead and play whatever he wants. He does have a lot of headwind to battle,
For sure. Well, thank you so much for giving us this broad overview. This has been great information. Your clients, Murrell, are retirees and future retirees. So big picture, tell me how retirees need to be preparing for these potential changes to come into play for them.
Yeah, so when it comes to retirees and individuals, they really need to be proactive about their finances now more than ever, right? Mm-hmm. So if the cost of living over the next, 10, 20 years continues to go up like it has in the past 20 years, everyone's going to have more and more difficulty in just standard of living, right? So you have to be proactive about your finances. You have to work with someone that is a fiduciary, a financial advisor that's going to be there for you to put together a financial plan to help you understand, all the ins and outs of your finances. So that's where we come into play, and people can contact us. They can either find the link in this video or this audio, and they can schedule a meeting with our team, or they can give us a call at 941-271-9005. And also, if this video or any of our videos bring you value, please consider subscribing to these channels.
All right, Murrell, this has been fantastic information. These tax changes, they're going to affect all Americans. So it's definitely something we all need to be informed on and on top of, really.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
All right. Again, it is swanstrategies.com where you can get started with Murrell and his incredible team. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Florida Retirement Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. For SWAN Retirement Strategies, I'm Kacey, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Murrell.
Thanks, Kacey.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisory services offered through Second Half Partners, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor number 163454. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Second Half Partners, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and/or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Murrell Winter, FL NPN 19081242.